Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? Hello, how you doing today? I just came in from the yard, and it looks good. Hello, how you doing? Everybody's around today. Um, all right. I just came in, and I got to tell you, it's a lot of things that you do in the yard that just keep learning every day. You just keep learning, and I learned today that I have a tree that I planted some time ago that I didn't dig a hole for it. I just set it on top of the soil and let it root itself. Wrong, don't do that. The tree is still alive and it produced fruit last year. It produced a number of apples, and it's still a very, very young tree. And I got to tell you, folks, don't do that. Because today, when I was checking the tree to see how sturdy it was in the ground, it had me worried, and I didn't like that. I said, this is almost coming out of the ground." But I checked it, double checked it, and it was okay. But it's leaning like this sideways. So I straightened it up, and just by putting a stake next to it and tying it, you know, it's straight as an arrow. Now I'm going to give it a fertilizer that will basically help it to grow roots, stronger roots. There's a method for everything. So I got some fertilizer that will help it to grow roots. And once I get that done, I'm all set. I must tell you, folks, it's no better fun than going out into the garden. I went out looking through some of the weeds. Always find some treasures when I'm looking through the weeds. Uh, it was a um, blackberry plant that came up in a different area of the property, and I picked the it was actually grew and it connected on both ends when it was in the ground, and I was able to retrieve a number of roots on both halves. I cut the plant into two parts and planted both of them and fertilized them, and that will be another plant that I will add to my collection as far as my blackberries. A little skinny plant, but it was very healthy. And my soil, folks, I gotta say, there's some pretty stuff. Come from years and years of putting, things in the soil, all this organic matter. In fact, my 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 neighbor was trimming his trees, and he had some branches in the yard. And I actually asked for those. I said, "What are you going to do with them?" He said, "Get rid of them." I said, "I'll take them," and I took them. Absolutely. But I took those for a reason because there's nothing better than having enough organic matter, or as food forest permaculture like to call it, biomass. And so I did that because I'm not gonna let it go to waste. It was beautiful, and I'll use those branches for other things like maybe to stake things or to mark where my watermelon plants are. So I like to mark my watermelon plants to know where to water them. And yeah, I mean, really, don't ever throw away any good biomass. And I had a good time out there in the yard. I just walked around and cleaned up. Um, Actually, had a good time doing that as well. And I just looked at everything, and I looked at my kiwi plant. Now I said something to you before about kiwi plants and cats. Cats love digging those up. They love it. But I read something some years back which said that be very careful with your kiwi plants. Make certain that you protect them if you have any cats in the area. I got to tell you, folks, nothing beautiful. Then all the blooms are doing well. I thought then last night I thought we were done with the weather. Done with the weather. 32 degrees last night. 32 degrees. 32 degrees last night. And I couldn't believe it, folks. I was sitting at work. I was angry. I was, because I'm getting so far ahead. I don't want to take any major steps back. Large amounts of biomass, remove water, soak up a sponge, and yes, absolutely. But I must say, I had a good time walking around in the yard, just learning, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, folks. Had a good time out there. Saw none of my neighbors, which was great because sometimes some of them can be pretty noisy while you're out in the garden. When all the trees grow in, you don't really see them that much, and you don't really care because you're looking at. I found you looking at the yard. I found some more. You already know I'm gonna say praying mantis nest. So that goes is close to about 10 of them I found so far. I mean 10 of them, and I was so happy because they are in the yard because they saw that they have a need to be there. There was a need for them to be there. They are going after insects, and wherever there's insects, you will find predators. 10 of the of what we call the predator insects. They were there and they're looking for food. I got to tell you, I enjoyed it. Oh my God, I got a lot of peach blooms. I've never had my trees do this. If you get time and if you want to try it, um, you see me with the funnel. You see me putting the fertilizer down at the base of the tree, not at the base of the tree, but at at the line at what we call type of peppers and tomatoes, ladies. Um, that reminds me, I had to redo my tomatoes today because I have tomatoes, but I want a lot of tomato plants. I do my tomatoes in bulk. I don't put one and two plants in a little container. If I need four plants, I'm gonna do 12 to 15 plants to make certain. That's how you do it. I mean, that's how you do it, folks. And I got to tell you, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, folks. Mm. The cherry trees had a lot of blossoms in them. I did the same thing to them where I just simply added the fertilizer that is especially well, it's basically for blooms. So the fertilizer I use on the trees was set up for flowers, roses, different types of flowers. They're designed for blooms, and you could also use bone meal if you're into bone meal. That phosphorus, a lot of phosphorus in it, and it's really great for blooms. It was really nice, folks. I'm sorry. Okay, thanks. I just definitely want to make you definitely know that you get your things done, your plants are ready to go. If you have any fruit trees, don't make a mistake by not fertilizing those trees. If you do use a natural fertilizer, make you a tea. Definitely make you a tea. Yep. So I had a good time, and and I hope you have a good time in your garden as well. You're doing yours in containers. Do you buy your soil mix or do you make your soil mix for your containers? You're absolutely right about that. You pay attention, you will definitely learn a lot more about your garden. You'll do a lot better later. I'm gonna have to plant. Okay, well, you take care. Later, I'm gonna have to plant. Uh, Well, you want to do a video on it? Good, good. And show them how to plant the spuds because how you plant them. Because there's so many different ways to do them. Put up, let's see, put up, and yeah, definitely show everybody how you do yours and what kind of fertilizer you use, if you use any, if you use compost, anything like that. How often you water it. What kind of water you're using? Is it rainwater? Is it water from your faucet? Keep us posted. Okay, does anyone know which type of sweet potato is that has five finger? Oh, you got me on that one. I'm not too familiar with sweet potato varieties. I just know that there's some that are suited to make sweet potato pie. Yes, definitely. And I'm getting ready in a few minutes, folks, not to go up to the store and try to score any more fertilizer things because to be quite frankly honest, I have no more room in this house for fertilizer. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I'll just reach my absolute quota. Now I'm thinking, is there something else I have to check in the yard? I'm thinking of one tree, the Santa Rose. I did not go over there and check it, and it's one of my favorites. But it also is the only tree I have that I apologize. I have a heater that wasn't working, and now it is, thanks to my handyman service. It's working. I see I bought sweet potatoes at this store maybe 2 years ago. I got to eat down all in time, and this was what happened? Introducing varieties. What happened? Introducing varieties. I just had, yeah. I feel pretty good now. I'm just trying. I emptied out my rain barrel system because I had to. Because if it snow, excuse me, if it get down in the temperatures like they think it's going to get tonight, I don't want to take any chances of having it bust or something like that. I don't want that to happen. So I'd much rather be safe and take the water out. I don't want nothing to happen to it. Let me hold you tight, if only for one night. No, it's not snow. It's just gonna get a little cold. 1 degree warmer than it was last night, and everyone, including young people, were complaining of the temperatures. Oh, it was cold. It was. I feel so cold. And I said, "Oh my God, get a grip." But then again, I was going to say, don't say so. We've all had enough. Yeah, we. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the dreaded snow. Oh, please don't let it happen, please. Snow is just. I don't want to see no more of it. All right, good people. This is the Morning Garden Show, and I want to talk to you. You want to ask me some questions, or let's talk about how we're going to get those plants outside, get them hardened off, and get them put in the ground. In the ground, so we can eat big juicy tomatoes cooked out on a summer grill. And the grocery stores are hurting hard because they don't know why they're not selling any tomatoes. Well, they do know. hmm They do know why they're not selling them because people like you people are growing your own. So while you're growing your own, they don't like it. And that's how that works, folks. You're 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 gathering power when you grow your own food. I felt that same way when I go into the grocery store and I see fish up there on the counter that's about 2 weeks old, and knowing I don't have to buy them because I can catch my own fish. Um, so that's how I feel about it. When I'm sitting at home and I got big fat tomatoes sitting in my house that's ready to go on a beautiful beef burger or turkey burger. I feel good. And the store sitting there with theirs marked up, shoot, who knows, $3 each and all that kind of stuff. And the only one buying that stuff is people that don't want to go into the garden. They don't want to, oh, I don't want to go out there in the garden. I don't want to play in the dirt. And they don't want to do it. So they fall into that trap of giving up most of their income on fresh vegetables. I mean, and there are people out there growing some of the prettiest lettuce and everything you ever want to see. And they're hurting because they don't know how to grow food. And the books and YouTube is out here. There's no reason for it, for you not to know. And you got shows on like mine and a dozen others that you can always learn this stuff. I mean, I'm quite sure some days, you might not want to be messing around with the garden when it's 100, feel like it's 110 degrees outside, and and you want to go out there and make sure you pick something so you can eat tonight. I'm quite sure. And so what I do, I just go out there and make certain that I grow enough for me and my family. And I always grow what I like. I always grow what I like. I don't grow anything that I don't want to eat or somebody told me to grow, unless that person has some pull. Like the old lady, she can say, could you grow something? Because she asked yesterday, did I plant any Swiss chard? I said, yeah, because I know she likes that. And me, I'll eat Swiss chard, but if I don't get it, it's not a big loss. You know how it is when you grow what you want. Morning Garden, have you, what variety of tomatoes they have, with Morning Garden, I have various tomatoes, uh, but not very. Should I start, over? Okay, let me see what I got here. They're not very, I'll see, I have a variety of tomatoes that are kind of tall, but not very thick. I think what you're telling me is that you have tomatoes that are lanky, is what they call it. You can still use those, but if you feel like, how many plants did you do? How many plants did you do? I love playing in the dirt too. You got it. How many tomatoes did you plant? Because lanky tomatoes can be used. Um, it can be used, uh, and some people what they do is they dig a trench and they lay them down and they cover them up. But you got to be mindful that they're close to the surface and they're going to tend to dry out a little more. So you want to make sure you water them. Keep an eye on the water during the hot days. Some people dig a digger, depending on how far down they want to go. Let's see, they want to dig a deeper ditch and put the tomatoes in. Just don't go down in a deep clay. If you have clay, don't go down in a deep clay. Just stay at a certain point where you can, you know the tomatoes in the better part of your soil. Um, I purchased a shovel, or actually it's a spade, and it's I guess for lack of a better word, the scoop on it is about 12 inches deep. And I had a regular shovel that was about 8 inches deep, and I said, no, I want this shovel for my tomatoes because if you can get them down a little deeper, you can get more tomatoes. And that's what I like. The best things in life are free, but you can save them for the birds and bees. I need some money. Oh, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay. No, don't start over. If you got plants that are lanky, keep them. You might want to start a couple extra on the side and say, all right, these are lanky. I'm going to also grow 4 or 5 more other plants. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just a few seeds. Plant them, and this time keep them once they uh, shoots their head up from the ground, or excuse me, from your soil pot. Take them off of the heat mat. Take them off of the heat mat and put them under a light, and they won't be as lanky. It goes with pretty much any plant you grow. When you get them up to a certain size, get them off of that heat mat and put them in keep them in a warm area location. But that's what you want to do. Different types. Okay, folks, I got to get out of here and go get some. What about? Oh yeah, it's a seed I need. It's giant cabbage, and they have a few packs left at Lowe's. I gotta get that. I don't like paying what they want for it, but I found out that the giant cabbage that I ordered from what's the name of that store called? I ordered from eBay. I didn't read the fine print. That thing won't be here until May. I'm not going to be planting seeds in May. I'll save them for next year, but I'm not going to be planting seeds in May. I don't do that. Homie don't play that. I need plants ready to go when this weather breaks around April 15th, April 17th, whatever, up here in Zone 7B. And depending on how the weather's acting, we get a steady 50, 55 at night, I can start putting things in outside. But if I get seeds in May, look how late I'm going to be. So on that note, thank you very much, people, for tuning in. This is the Morning Garden, and I'm getting ready to go get me some seeds, giant cabbage seeds. Want to see what it looks like? It's just a fun thing to do. That's the only reason why I'm planting. Later, everybody. Take care. Thank you very much for tuning in.